Amakhosi Network, welcome to the channel. Today we break down, Baba. We break down what's happening with Njabulo Blom and what he brings to Kaizer Chiefs. Because it's a very, very big positive for us to get to Njabulo Blom. And we also maybe touch a bit about Bradley Cross, because there's a bit of a dilemma that's going to happen with Bradley Cross there at left back. But let's, before we get into that, please like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe, guys. Subscribe. The more subscribers we have, the more we can do for the channel. Thank you for those. DJ Stigzo won a skipper. DJ Stigzo apparently received this skipper, but I haven't got feedback from him, but I got the notification. So DJ Stigzo, let us know, but we want to know how it fits, how it looks. Is it Nandi? Did it come as promised? But anyway, let's get into it. Njabulo Blom, and this is me being very honest. Njabulo Blom is arguably the best midfield signing we have signed ever since he left. Meaning, Guti, since Njabulo Blom left, there was no replacement for Njabulo Blom. We tried with obviously Matt was always there, but like Matt tried to fill in that Mbobo ya Blom, didn't happen. Mtetwa tried, it didn't happen. Sitebe tried, it didn't happen. We saw some Gelo Zwane even try a bit, it didn't happen. We saw Castillo try, it didn't happen. And a lot of you will be asking, like, what do you mean fill the Mbobo ya Blom? And this is one thing I want to emphasize in this, is that Njabulo Blom, before he left, what he was doing at Kaizer Chiefs hadn't been done by a central midfielder / a defensive midfielder for Kaizer Chiefs in a long time. Blom was breaking down attacks. I saw Opta Jabu put up stats that said Blom was one of the players who recovered the ball, and he was top 3 in the league for tackles being made in the league. He was number 1 in recoveries of the ball, and he was top 3 in tackles being made. That is what Blom had. When Blom disappeared, we started conceding goals for days. So that's why I'm saying when Blom is in the team, we almost cut out between 10 to 20% of goals that we concede. 10 to 20%. And if you think that's not a lot, that is a lot, because Blom covered a lot of mistakes of players. Blom, I remember at the time when Blom was playing, he was crazy, Baba. Blom, when we were playing with Blom before he left, when others was playing with Blom before he left, Blom was like we had 12 players on the field. 12. Because Blom covered positions that you wouldn't expect him to be able to cover, because he covered almost 2 positions as one player. It's like today, when now going forward, we could play Blom as a number 6 alone. And as a number 6 alone, Blom was somehow able to cover on the left and cover on the right, and then on top of that, cover in the center. And then because Blom left, others didn't have a way to figure it out. So he started the double pivot with Matt and Sitebe. And that double pivot was working, and like it wasn't working sometimes and all of that. So that's what others try to do, because it wasn't working. The hole that Blom left was just too much to fill, and he tried to fill it with 2 players who ended up being the exact same player, and they weren't giving us anything. So that's why I'm saying, if Blom is going to be at least, very least, the Blom who he was before he left to go to America, then I'm happy. But if he has come back even better than that Blom before he left, then I'm over the moon. But the one thing I don't want him to be is him to be less than that player he was before he left. Because the player he was before he left was an engine, Baba, an enforcer, Baba. Blom was everywhere. Blom broke up attacks. Blom at Sundowns. At Sundowns, what Blom used to do to them. Blom was Blom was a terror, Baba. Blom, he was just a crazy player to have. Blom was just, that's what I wanted to say. Blom was a defensive midfielder we haven't had in a long time. And the introduction of Blom has started to make me ask a lot of interesting questions. Like, Mtetwa Baba, Baba Mtetwa, sacela ukubuzwa Baba. Guti, what are you gonna do with Chiefs, man? Because this guy who has joined the team can do what you do, but 10 times better, and he's younger. Blom is only 24. What Mtetwa does, Blom does better. So my question is, Mtetwa, will you be able to play with Blom having arrived? Or is bench gonna be your friend? One thing I'll say is that there's nothing bad with competition. If Mtetwa is going to push Blom and Blom is going to push Mtetwa, I'm happy. But all I'm saying is that on the 14th of September, I will not be surprised nangancane if Blom is in the starting lineup and we don't see Mtetwa for the next 10 games. Maybe we see him as a substitute. Mad, another one. Mad. If Blom can be the enforcer he was before he left, I'm going to ask the same question. What are you going to do? Because technically we won't need you. We won't need you. Blom will unlock players who have been held back. Blom will unlock Samkelo Zwane to have a role where he's playing almost just ahead of Blom, but he can attack. Blom will probably even unlock Castillo, because Castillo won't have to focus on this defensive midfielder role that he doesn't know. He will be able to be a more attacking player. That is what Blom is going to bring to our team. Blom is going to allow the team to be more flexible because he is that kind of number 6 that covers space, that defeats. And on top of that, Blom umnandi with his feet. Blom won't just lose the ball. Blom umnandi, he can turn, he can find the right pass, and that is what we've been missing. So from that point, I feel like Blom may make 2 players even sit bench. 2. He will make Matt and Mtetwa sit bench in one go. But obviously, we still have to see what kind of player Blom is now, because he's been sitting bench there overseas. So we don't know if he's been sitting because he's been lacking that fire, that engine that he is. We don't know. So we still have to see what Blom is when he comes back. Another position I wanted to cover is Bradley Cross. Bradley Cross, we know, plays as a left back, and he played this at Arrows. But if you don't know, Bradley Cross actually at Newcastle played as a centre back. So he was a centre back. But one other thing you won't know, at Newcastle under 23 used to be Mbobo. That defense used to be Mbobo. These guys used to concede goals for days. But Bradley Cross was the captain. So all I'm saying is this. I'm not saying he's a bad player. All I'm saying is that is something you have to take into account. But Bradley Cross at Arrows was playing as a left back. And I want to make you guys understand what Arrows is and what Kaizer Chiefs is. Because those are 2 different beasts. Arrows is the kind of team that has to soak in pressure when they play big teams. They soak in, they hit you with the counter. They soak in, they hit you with the counter, they go. They soak in, they hit you with the counter. When you then play for Chiefs, teams sit back and let Chiefs attack them. Then they want to hit Chiefs with the count. Why am I saying this? It means that when Chiefs plays, a lot of their game becomes a bit more stretched. But when Arrows plays, Arrows is a bit more compact because they defend, then they go out and attack. Defend, go out and attack. So that means that Bradley Cross at Golden Arrows would always be closer to his 18-yard box. Meaning that if there are pacey players from other teams, they wouldn't really be able to expose Bradley Cross because there wouldn't be enough ground to cover closer to Bradley Cross's box. But now when you play Kaizer Chiefs, it's going to be the opposite. Teams are going to allow Chiefs to have the ball. And when Chiefs has the ball, Chiefs is going to be a team that's much more stretched, meaning that our defenders are going to find themselves a lot more times closer to the halfway line or sometimes even entering the box of the other team. Not the box, entering the field of the other team, the half of the other team. And that's where Bradley Cross will be tested because Bradley Cross, as good as he is, he does not have that kind of pace. Bradley Cross is not a pacey player. And being at Kaizer Chiefs is going to test that side of his game. Because at Chiefs, teams are going to say, Chiefs, take the ball. And when Chiefs takes the ball, they're going to hit us with counters. Left, right, and center. Left, right, and center. And when that happens, that's where Bradley Cross will be exposed. So it's going to... His pace is definitely going to be tested. And that's why a part of me is starting to consider. Because I'm like, okay, on our left center back and left backs, We don't count Dove, we don't count Bongani Sam because as far as we know, they're still injured. At our left back, we have Bradley Cross now, and we have a backup in Dudley. At our left centre back, we have Dudley as well because he can play there. We have Bradley Cross who can also play there, and we have Ditlokwe who also plays there. At right centre back, we have Msimango Inesho. At right back, we have Frosler, we have Solomons, and we have Inesho because Inesho Miguel can play right back. So the question is, how will Nabi pair up our defense, especially on the left back? And because I think right back is most likely going to still play Frosler. Or he's most likely going to still play Frosler, or if he doesn't like Frosler, he's going to play Miguel. But right center back is most likely going to be Msimango or Miguel, but Nabi said Msimango did well in preseason, so there's that one. But left center back is where the problem and left back is going to come in. Because will Nabi want to play Dudley or Cross at left back? And will Nabi want to play Dudley or Cross at left center back? A part of me thinks he wants to play Dudley at left center back and Cross at left back because I don't think he trusts to Ditlokwe. Look at how many replacements he's gotten now for Ditlokwe. It makes me feel good to Ditlokwe's days or numbers. But the season might start and he might be already going out on loan. That's all I have for today. Amakhosi for life.